Smartphone penetration, I'm sure you've heard this many times, but this affects a lot of businesses, and this is a key driver for change in our business as well, right? You see some figures there, so it's fair to say now, you know, and it's amazing to see how fast it's happened, but smartphone penetration has become very high. Here on this map, we will not, of course, go through all the details, but we have, on the one hand, we have this contactless or NFC infrastructure being rolled out everywhere, and we have now a huge amount of projects with banks to actually enable mobile phones to make it possible for consumers to use their mobile phone to pay. There are different ways, technically speaking, to make this possible. For a smartphone to be able to talk to a contactless terminal, it requires to have some data, you know, the same way we have data on our chip card that we get from our bank. And there are basically three main models where this data can be stored. There is one model, which is that the data would be stored on the SIM card. The SIM card is a very secure chip on which you can put your payment data. So that's one model. Of course, if it is loaded onto the SIM card, there is one big consideration, which is that the SIM card is actually under control of the telecom operator, right? So it requires an agreement with the telecom operator to have the data loaded onto the SIM card. And we have some projects, and Brian will cover that, we have some projects involving telecom operators to make payments possible. That's one option. Option two is what we call the embedded secure elements. There, instead of storing the secure data, the payment data on the SIM, you have actually a piece of hardware on the phone itself, in the hardware of the phone, in which you put the data. Okay? Then instead of working with the telecom operator, you need to work with the device manufacturer to be sure that you can actually store the payment data on the phone. That's the second model. The third model is something that has been developed more recently. It is, so we don't actually store the payment data on the phone itself, but it is stored in the cloud, on the server, and actually we call the data when we need them for the payments. This has been made possible thanks to some developments on Android, the operating system of Google. So this third model is actually available for any Android device. Okay? Apple devices use this model. So Apple, in their iPhones 6, they have actually put a piece of hardware in which the data, the sensitive data, are stored securely. We focus on the third one, what we call host card emulation. So again, when the data are stored on the server in the cloud, so to say, what we have done as MasterCard, we have developed a specification for this, because again, Google has developed Android to support this, but what we have done, we have developed a very detailed technical specification that we have actually offered to the banks and to the different technical providers, so that they can actually develop a solution, they can develop a payment application that uses this technology and makes it possible on any Android device to have contactless payments. So actually we have many countries with what we call HCE, so this is this technology project. Actually, in the meantime, we should update this slide because we have more coming in. So basically the key message here is that, you know, the technology is there.